You underestimate my power!
Don't try it!
Hey there guys, Riverter here, coming at you with another boomer take on more YouTube drama. In today's video, we're going to talk about Invader V again. Remember this chick?
That's so toxic, especially when people are losing their jobs. It really isn't. It really isn't toxic to ask for subs when you're streaming.
Well, she had a shining white knight in the name of Destiny show up and try to defend her. Well, we're going to take a look at his hot take, break it down, and wrap it all up where he takes on the infamous Bowblax. And you know what? In my opinion and other people's opinions, Bowblax wiped the floor with Destiny. Now, and here's the thing about it, right? Destiny is noted for being a debater. Bowblax reads people's tweets.
Do you want to get more triggered on the every streamer giving their reaction to the V stuff is just going to be some variety of like, oh, she's so entitled, blah 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 blah, just chatting thoughts horrors. Like that's going to be like every criticism. Like the original, it's so funny because the original thing is basically just like, if you're not subbing, it's not because you don't have the money to, it's because you don't want to, which is still fine. Just don't lie about it. It's pretty basic.
Okay, so that clip right there encapsulates Destiny's entire defense of what Invader V said. And there's so many holes that can be poked into that. So let's poke a few. What do you say? First of all, he says it's not, he basically calls everyone who says they can't afford to subscribe liars. They're not being truthful about it. Well, guess what? We have a global pandemic going on that encapsulates the entire planet. People have lost their jobs. People have lost their lives even. So, you know, families don't have income coming in like they did. Maybe one or both bread earners in that family have lost their jobs. So they're having to try to get by on unemployment. Food stamps, food banks, things of that nature. And you know what? Maybe, just possibly, they were at one point in time able to give their children an allowance. And those children used that allowance to sub to their favorite YouTuber or their favorite streamer. You know, when you have people like Mr. Beast, who put on a huge charity stream yesterday and raised, I think it was over $1 million for charity to go to organizations to help people in need during this time. And then you contrast that to what we see over here. Really kind of makes them look very petty, doesn't it? Okay, in this next segment, we're going to look into this debate that Destiny had with Bowblax. Now, Destiny invited Bowblax onto his stream so that they could debate this whole controversy around, in and around Invader V. And we're kind of fast forwarding a little bit into it. Initially, they were jabbing back and forth. It wasn't there wasn't a whole lot of really any big punches thrown or anything like that per se in this debate. So we're going to just kind of forward a little bit, and it's going to this is kind of where we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this, if you will. So let's just take a little look here, Let's take a little look and listen rather of this interchange between these two.
Okay, do you think that it's realistic that there are a lot of people that are playing games, having Netflix, are watching hours of Twitch that are literally at their and exactly budgeted within $1 of wiggle room, and $92.55 a month is the exact amount? I feel like most people probably have the extra $5 a month.
Some people are on a tight budget, dude. Yeah, but I don't think those people on tight budgets have a PlayStation Network subscription, a Netflix subscription, a computer, a monthly internet connection, and watch hours of Twitch.
Right off the bat, you know, he is doubling down here on his stance about he feels like people have the money to, because he doesn't feel like people's budget is that tight. Well, I went out and did a little research. March 13th, President Trump issued a national emergency for the United States in relationship to the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay. Now, why is this important? All right. And how does this actually apply to Destiny here? Well, now Destiny lives in California. So when the national emergency was declared, a vast majority of the states then started issuing stay-at-home directives. Businesses were starting to receive instructions from their state officials, the state governments, to cease and desist operations. The only thing that was allowed to stay open was essential manufacturing businesses. Health facilities, grocery stores, restaurants were allowed to continue as long as they either had drive-through service or they were offering curbside service. That was it. When this occurred, there was a large amount of American employees that lost their job, to where to date, as a recording of this, we are reaching numbers of about 20 million Americans that are currently unemployed because of COVID-19. And that's within about a month's span. Now, this is why this is important. He says he doesn't feel like people's budgeting. And prior to this, I would agree with him on this. I would agree. But we're not talking about, this is not a situation that is occurring within a bubble. You have outward influences that are impacting this. When Invader V made her statement, this was in the middle of the COVID lockdown that is going on here in the States. It's going on in Canada as well. How do I know this? I have friends that live in Canada. I have talked with them. They are not allowed to work unless they are employed by a service that is deemed essential. So they're in the same boat as we are here in the States, which is where Invader V lives, and it's where Bowblax lives. And I'm sure things are not too much different there on how their bills are handled as they are here in the States. You have your monthly expenses, like you have rent or mortgage, your utilities, right? Now, internet, some people consider that a utility, and then some people consider that a luxury item. But for argument's sakes, we will call that a utility, okay? It is still a month-to-month payment. So when Invader V had her stream and she had this, and people were talking in that stream how they were unemployed right now, and they didn't have the money, her stance was, well, it's not that you should be out working. They can't work. They're not allowed to work. You know, I don't understand why it is so hard for these people to grasp this. I really don't understand this. Anyway, I digress. So let's go and listen to what else he has to say.
Yeah, but then there's also, as I said earlier, the people who watch Twitch on mobile with like their plan or whatever. Like,
I
there's
don't think
other
you
stuff
watch.
that
There's
people-
not that many people that watch Twitch on mobile. They can afford like that internet.
Well, it's not the vast majority of people, but it's still like an amount of people. And the reason why this clip is getting so much backlash is that people were either in that financial state before and they're not in it now, or they know people who were in that financial state and they sympathize. They don't want streamers to talk down to people because they can't afford a $5 tip.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't think there are
It's,
that many
like, so
people in this
entitled.
position. It's not entitled.
It is
To say-
very entitled.
You literally are
You
on your
expect all
Twitter.
your frequent viewers to sub to you like as an obligation to you.
No one says it's an obligation. We literally just watched her say that there are some extenuating circumstances where you can't subscribe.
Yeah, but she's saying if you can sub, you should. It's only $5 a month.
Yeah,
dude.
if
That's
you're
what she's
watching a
saying.
streamer, she said if you're watching a streamer for hours, and I think later on in this or earlier in this, she says like, oh, like if I'm helping you get through your workday, blah, 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 if you're watching me for hours, like I think you can throw $5 a month my way. I don't think
Yeah, but
that's
she
that
was-
crazy.
Yeah, you can say that like once, but she was like hammering it in, dude.
Well,
Like, she
because
was
when you
like-
stream, usually when you're talking, people like go back and forth in your chat. That's just the nature of streaming. When you do 8 hours, well, in her case, it's usually like 4 hours of content a day. When you have a conversation, you're probably going to repeat yourself a lot. I do it on my stream a ton too, where I'm going to say
yeah,
the
but
same
she
thing.
doesn't have to do it in a condescending, like talking down to people way.
Why not? I do, dude. There are
What
plenty
do
of
you mean, wine?
because there are plenty of
Because
guy
if you-
streamers. Have you ever watched XQC? Have you ever watched Destiny? Have you ever watched Asmongold? There are plenty of people that not only make fun of people for subbing, they berate their subs. They tell people that they're lazy or entitled for subbing. Like we do this shit all
Yeah,
the
but
time.
They do it in like a more of a humorous way. This is like,
Why not? Why not? Well, let's see. Because it's condescending. Why not? Because we're in the middle of a crisis. If we were under extreme circumstances right now, it's probably this is a non-topic. It wouldn't get the heat that it's getting, but it is because people are under a lot of stress. They're a little bit more sensitive maybe than they normally would be. I don't know, just some thoughts. Another thing that I want to kind of go back to and touch on is he dismisses Bowblax's statement that a lot of people are using like their cellular phones to watch Twitch. He dismisses that. I don't think that is I think he's wrong there. I know a lot of people, especially in the, I'm going to say the late teens to mid-20s demographic there, and maybe even some in the later 20s there, they use their cell phones for everything. They use it for Facebook. They use it for TikTok. They use it for Snapchat. They use it to watch Netflix. They use it to watch YouTube. They use it. That is their go-to device to stream and do everything on. Podcast, you name it. They do it. Everything. And I don't know, or I haven't talked or met anyone who doesn't have an unlimited data plan these days. For crying out loud, I myself has a pay-as-you-go membership through Straight Talk, and I have unlimited data, and it's like $50 a month. So it's not an astronomical cost. And again, we're going to go back to the fact that, a lot of people probably had already paid their bills for the month. So that month when this all occurred, that was taken care of. But going forward, they're not going to have the money because now they are not able to work. And while they may have unemployment checks coming in, they're at a diminished rate of payment. Because I don't know about California, but here specifically where I live in the state, I went out and looked earlier. If you go on unemployment here where I live, you get 1/25 of the average quarterly amount of monies that you would earn. 1/25. Stop and think about that. That's not a lot of money. So people are struggling with, how am I going to pay the rent, the mortgage? How am I going to pay the water bill, the electric bill? How am I going to buy groceries to feed my families? I suspect we're going to start seeing things like the subscription numbers for these services like Netflix and PSN and Disney Channel and anything else like that, I think we're going to probably, if we go out and if these companies actually release these numbers and we go and look, you're going to see that those numbers are going to dip drastically during this time frame, because once that subscription period that they had expired, they're not going to pay for the next month, because that is a luxury and it's not something they have to have. They're only going to go with things that they have to have, the essentials, not luxury items. But anyway, let's go on and listen to the rest of this next little clip I've got.
This is like,
So why can't this be interpreted as a humorous way?
Why can't this be interpreted as a humorous way? I don't know, because she came out and apologized and said it was wrong, you imbecile. Good night.
I don't think many people found it humorous. Like, she lost 90K followers from this.
She didn't. That's not true.
Yes, she did.
No,
she lost
that's
80K.
not true.
Look at her social blade. Look at her social blade on Twitch.
Okay, right here, this point right here, this is where Bowblax gets in his first good, solid roundhouse on him. He proves him that what he was saying, his argument, was a valid argument. And we're going to see how Destiny really gets rocked by this and starts staggering.
Her viewers
Wait,
didn't
hold on.
like
Do you
this.
really think that's true? You said you did
Yes.
research for this?
You want to see that? Yeah, you want to look at her social blade right now? I can
Sure.
bring it up.
Okay. Go ahead and look at her social
Her,
blade.
her own viewers didn't like this. Okay.
Go ahead and look at her social blade.
Yeah, let's look at her social blade. I'm gonna bring it up.
Well, guess what? They bring it up, and Bowblax was right. She lost 90,000 subscribers. I'm sorry, not subscribers, followers of her channel. She lost 90,000. And wait till you see Destiny's explanation for that.
Negative 87,000.
Negative 87,000 viewers. Now look at her followers in the month of March, right below. Notice how
Followers
she
in the month of
gained
March.
like 80,000 followers, 87,000 followers. Notice how she gained about the exact same amount she dropped off. It was just a big bot
Okay.
follow and a bot unfollow. That's it. She didn't lose 90,000 followers.
That's a very convenient bot follow and bot unfollow. That's very convenient.
What is the
Convenient
implication?
timing.
What is the implication? Well, okay, so what you're saying is that the statistics there, okay, the graphs show that she had a huge following uptick, and then she had a huge following downtick. It was bots. Well, I went and looked and tried to search to see exactly what the terms of service was on Twitch about botting. And all I could find was some alluding to a Twitch streamer who was caught botting to inflate the amount of viewers which actually then enticed legitimate viewers to come and watch, which increased his donations and stuff, because he started getting more and more real viewers. It turned out he was doing this to inflate his viewer counts. And he was actually banned from the platforms. So if Destiny is implying that Invader V, or somebody who trying to help Invader V, is implementing some sort of botting script or purchasing bot follows from some service out there, that could, I guess, potentially maybe come back to hurt her also in the long run. In this next segment, we're going to see what I feel like was the knockout blow that Bowblax delivered to Destiny. So let's just get right into it.
Here's a question. If you say you do a whole bunch of background research, which is a little suspect at this point, but you say you do a whole bunch of background research for this post before you post this stuff, do you ever reach out to the person in question for comment? And why not? Because I know you don't. So why don't you?
I don't, because basically what I do is I just take tweets of what people are saying and just post them and read them out. And I try to give the clips the most benefit of the doubt. And then if they make a statement on their Twitter, they're already getting a lot of backlash. If they make a statement on their Twitter, I will include that as well.
Okay, so you're literally
I'm just
like,
an
so you're like
outside
a
viewer reporting
content
on
leech
stuff.
aggregate that asks for people to YouTube Red and sub to him. You don't even reach out to the person you're talking about, like for comment, and then you're just hopping on to like a giant fire,
I
like
do
pouring a
reach
little bit of
out
glass.
to people who follow me and I have open DMs with. I do reach out to them.
So you give the benefit of the doubt to your friends? That's even worse.
What do you mean?
For people that are already following you on Twitter and you have a friendly
Because
working relationship
I can
with?
DM them.
But I'm pretty sure like if you were to
I
tweet,
could tweet at them, but they're already getting like a bunch of backlash from everybody. Like, why would they want to respond to me specifically when everyone's going after them for the same thing? Just me adding me to the pile, is that going to make that much of a difference?
it's
Why would
possible, yeah. Usually if you're part of media, usually when things like this happen, what happens is you have like a prepared statement or a response you give to media outlets that reach out to you for comment. Yeah, of course. Or you even have a publicist that deals with it for you. This is how media works, literally. Like if you're like that's why at the end of every story, if it's a New York Times or Washington Post or NPR, they always write things like, "Oh, like
I'm not a journalist. I just read out tweets on YouTube, dude."
So that's a kind of an entertaining clip there. So let's start at the beginning of the clip. So Destiny poses a question to Bowblax, and in the question he starts framing it to where Bowblax, I guess, is now a star ace reporter for, I don't know what, the New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, I don't know, but starts trying to position this rule of thumb, or this that he should adhere to the same guidelines and policies that journalists subscribe to. This code of ethics. And Bowblax simply says, I'm just a YouTuber that reads tweets. And boom, right there, he completely and totally knocks Destiny out. Okay, there is no coming back. He had him on the ropes, okay, from the roundhouse that he gave him, when he showed to him that there was a loss of subs because of this. In this next clip, even though we've seen that Bowblax has knocked Destiny to the mat, Destiny, being a fighter and not wanting to give up, tries to fight back up, starts climbing the ropes back up, and he comes back with, trying to reemphasize this argument, and Bowblax gets the TKO. He finishes him off, and he finishes him off in a very that's it. The debate ends at that point. Okay. So let's see how he does that.
yeah, I know, but like you literally just admitted that like you'll like make things a little bit biased if they're friends with you, if they already follow you, if you already talk. You
I
literally just said
didn't
that.
admit that.
You just said it.
I said if I have contact with them, maybe I'll ask for their opinion on something. Typically, I don't. They usually make like a Twitter statement and I read it out. Like my videos are more like archives and stuff. I don't know what this has to do with the conversation of Twitch subs.
Okay, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you have stayed here to the end to see the coup de grace that Bowblax delivered to Destiny. I know this is a little bit longer than my normal videos this type. But listen, thanks again for all the recent views and the subs that I've gained. I really appreciate it. Until this craziness around us is all over with, remember, stay safe, wash your hands, and practice social distancing. Take care.